Hello, I'm John, joined with my fellow group members, Nicole and Tyler. Today, my group and I are talking about subculture. So, subculture is a culture in a large culture with similar beliefs, for example, like goth, hip hop, hippies, and so many more. Subculture can be categorized in different ways around the world as well. So, we decided to take a look at our school in subculture. So we particularly looked at two different sports to research at our school, and those were football and soccer in the Melville community. So football and soccer are completely different sports. So in soccer, the rules are different. The ball's on the ground, and you can't use your hands at all. Your goal is to score in the other player's net without getting blocked by the goalie. The soccer players here are people who usually are super fast and very in shape. These athletes have to do a lot of exercises because the game deals with a lot of speed and you want to be super fast. As in football, you pass the ball and your job is to run the other team's size, similar to soccer, but you want to score a touchdown and you don't want to get tackled by the other team. The football side in the Melville community are usually people who are buff, pretty big, and football players, they need a lot of strength and stamina as well because of tackling and to throw the football pretty far. Most of their workouts are lifting lots of weights for all their muscles and running to get their stamina up. In conclusion, these two are different sports that both require lots of hard-working exercising, just hard work and all, and dedication to get better.
Subculture alone is a group within a larger culture that has different beliefs or interests. Sports as a subculture would be a sports team that has its own shared set customs, attitudes, and values, such as a specific chant before a game. Melville's football team would be an example of a subculture in the Melville community because the team has their own rules, values, norms, and traditions. Melville's football team differs from football teams in general because Melville's team has different traditions. Melville's team may say a specific chant before a game that is not said by others. Melville's soccer team also has some of their own traditions, such as the way they warm up before a game. The team may have specific exercises that they do before every game. Some soccer teams might give or get pep talks before a game. Melville soccer team's values differ from soccer teams outside of the Melville community, and to go even more in depth, Melville soccer players and football players both differ from each other because of their norms. Football is more aggressive and there is more physical contact with the other players, such as tackling, which is looked at by others as normal. Soccer is less of an aggressive sport between the players. If two soccer players broke out into a fight, that would be more frowned upon rather than if two football players were to get into a fight. Even though both sports do not necessarily approve of it, it would be less of a surprise and more accepted by others as a whole society if two football players got into a physical fight rather than two soccer players. This is one way that the two sports normalities are looked at differently, even from the people who are not playing the sport. I've concluded that even when these sports are playing in our smaller Melville community, that they still have their own traditions with their own sport in the community.
Sports as a subculture shows how people can have the same beliefs about different sports. Football is an example of this because everyone on the team are making the same choices and have to agree on the same things. Football teams are similar as in following the rules and what they are supposed to do, but each team makes their own plays. Being on a sports team is like being in your own community. On the team, you're all considered as a family. Soccer is another example of a group of people being on a team. They all have to work together like a small community, but soccer is more open with what each player has to do. In soccer, each player gets to make a choice of what to do with the ball. They could either pass it to another player, or they can try to score a goal. In football, only one player gets the chance of making a goal. In conclusion, even though football and soccer are both categorized together as a sport, they are two very different types of sports, and they both have multiple different values and beliefs that are separate from each other. After reviewing Melville's soccer and football team, we have concluded that there are many different ways that subculture takes part in the specific sports community.